Hey everyone, it's Dr. B. This is my week 3 check-in video for Social Work 502, Spring 2024. Today is January 30th. And before we start talking about week 3 in schizophrenia spectrum and other psychotic disorders and what we'll be doing this week, I want to talk really quickly about week 2. I've read your discussion posts on the neurodevelopmental disorders, IDD, and autism. And I was really impressed with your responses and your understanding of, there was different ethical issues, I guess, to take into consideration, such as, excuse me, cultural influences, and within that was biases, gender biases, race biases, those sort of things. And then there was the overlapping symptoms and diagnostic overshadowing, and some other things that for you to that you were asked to choose from and take into consideration when thinking about the neurodevelopmental disorders. And I think you all did a really good job in thinking about how whatever it was that you chose, whichever special consideration that you chose, you did a good job discussing how that issue could impact effective diagnoses and therefore effective treatment for the individual. And I was really, the theme along several of your responses was how do we, work to ensure this doesn't happen? And so the importance of assessments and the importance of conducting thorough, holistic assessments on an individual that, brings in the voice of the individual that you're working with, but also additional resources or sources of information, family members, doctor's notes, behavior, all of those different things. So I think you all did a really good job there. Also, with your week 2 quiz, neurodevelopmental disorders, hopefully you've been able to go back in and see, maybe if you lost a point or 2 or 3, where those points were lost. And so, it's a learning experience. So this week we're really looking at schizophrenia spectrum and other psychotic disorders. So here are the required readings, and as you see here, there's some recommended readings that are included in all of the weeks. You're not required to read all of these. It's just recommended because it can provide you with some additional information and knowledge that'll be useful, especially as you think about your conditions presentation, and especially as you think about your clinical vignettes. So if the individual that you've chosen to do the clinical vignette assessment on then is somebody that might be diagnosed with schizophrenia or any other of the psychotic disorders, then these are just some resources for you. If you're looking at a child or adolescents, young adults, there's just some really good information. If you click on it here, it'll take you directly to the actual article that is through our Widener library. For the week 3 discussion, you're being asked to have a conversation about mental health. So you are to look at this or review the website here from the SAMHSA, the Mental Health and Substance Abuse website guide. And if you click on it, it's going to provide you with this resource guide that provides It's a resource that provides information about schizophrenia, that and about mental health and how you could talk to a family member, a friend, or colleague who may not be familiar with the symptoms, right? And so the idea for this particular discussion post is to think about there's 4 session ideas that are provided in the discussion guide. And what I'm asking you to do is to go talk to somebody, and a family member, a friend, or colleague, somebody that you feel would be receptive to you discussing one of the 4 sessions, and or using one of the 4 sessions as a way to discuss with that person what schizophrenia is, or in your own words. So I'm going to take you to the website. So you'll see, this will come up when you click on the link. And as you come down to the table of contents, there is 4 sessions, right? Sharing personal experiences, discussion of challenges, exploration of how to respond, and community solutions. What I'm asking you to do is to take one of these. So for instance, the sharing of personal information. So let's say we come to sharing of personal information. And this would be something to think about, right? What does mental health mean to me, to us as a community? Think about how you would discuss with somebody what mental health means to you, right? And talk to somebody about the importance of understanding the challenges around mental health. And so here we go. This is the second one, right? The second challenge, or the second discussion, is on what are the challenges and factors we should consider. So basically, I'm going to go back to the other page. Using one of these discussion prompts, what does it mean to me? What are the challenges? Those sort of things, that one of these 4 discussion prompts from the website that I just showed you. Go explain the symptoms of schizophrenia to a family member, friend, or colleague who may not be familiar with the symptoms, right? That's what I'm asking you to do. And then respond to at least one classmate. Excuse me, before you do that, the first part is to look at that. Second part is then for your initial post to state which of the 4 sessions you used when you went to talk to your family member, friend, or colleague, classmate, whoever it is that you choose, that you have chosen for this. Summarize in your own words what you said to the family member, friend, colleague, the individual that you chose for this particular, to do this particular discussion post with, and describe what you would change if you could redo your explanation. If you feel it fell, maybe there were some areas that some things that you forgot to mention that would have been important, or maybe you afterwards you thought maybe I could have explained it better this way, or maybe I forgot some important key things. You would describe what some of those are. Then respond to at least one person, and that does not that and discuss with them any similarities or differences between your peers' post and yours, as well as anything you learned from their conversation that you could apply in practice. Okay, so initial post is due by Thursday, follow-up response due by Sunday, as you can see here in the guidelines. So go ahead, you just click on this, look at the 4 different sessions, choose one, and use that as a guide to facilitate a conversation with an individual where you're going to talk to them about schizophrenia, symptoms of schizophrenia, and whatever in particular focus based on one of the 4 topics. There is a quiz for week 3, as you can see here. I sent an announcement earlier today because it came to my attention that the Widener Social Work shared case example that had been uploaded was incorrect and was missing some of the information. It's the Anita case, and we use it in different courses for different assignment purposes. And so some of them can be different. This one is specific to this quiz, and unfortunately the wrong document was uploaded. And so I apologize for that error. I have uploaded the correct document earlier today. So if you click on this link, you will see the corrected quiz or the corrected Anita shared case example, okay, with the information that you need to be able to do this quiz. So you're being asked to practice associating behavioral manifestation signs, symptoms to the DSM-5 TR symptom criteria, focusing on Anita. So you're being asked to look at all of these things and respond. Your responses should not exceed 1 page, but you're going to look at review Anita's case and make a list of Anita's behavioral manifestations. Same thing, look at what risk factors you've identified in the case example for Anita that could lead to behavioral manifestation signs and symptoms, right? What about possible diagnosis at this point? You're working only in the schizophrenia spectrum and other psychotic disorders family of diagnoses. With schizophrenia listed as the first one, select 4 other possible diagnoses within the schizophrenia spectrum and other psychotic disorders DSM-5-TR criteria. Then the DSM-5-T criteria, focusing first on schizophrenia, list all the criteria for schizophrenia and the other 4 possible diagnoses, and identify Anita's behavioral manifestations, signs, symptoms, and risk factors that might be evidence of each of the criteria A through F. Do the same for the other 4, okay? Then think about a differential diagnosis, schizophrenia being the provisional diagnosis. What would you say from the other 4 diagnoses that one would be a differential diagnosis, okay? And give a rationale for why you think this would be a differential diagnosis. There is an example here that you can look at. So this is a quick example of, and this is looking at Anita from a different lens point, this is looking at her from substance abuse, not from schizophrenia and other psychotic disorders. But this is what it would look like when you submit it, right? The format. It's not narrative style per se, it's just like this. You're going to upload a file, right? So you're going to do this in a Word document and upload it. It's not a quiz per se, like the one from week 2. Right here, this is the rubric, so you can see how you'll be graded. Also, the groups have been formed. So hopefully you have or are starting to reach out to your partner in the condition presentations groups. So if you go under people and search under student groups, you will see that all the groups are formed. So you will see your partner here for neurocognitive disorder. Al and Janelle have chosen this conditions presentation topic. Personality disorders, post-traumatic stress disorders, substance use disorders, and gender dysphoria in children. So your names are here. Reach out to each other via email and start discussing these presentations, okay? These presentations are coming up due in the next 2 to 3 weeks. So it is important that you start working on them together and you make a plan for how you will proceed. All right, everybody have a good rest of your week 3. Do not hesitate to reach out with any questions that you might have, or if you need to meet via Zoom for help with any of the assignments or anything like that. Take care.